I'm really grateful to be with you and also to the conference organizers and everyone who's been helping last minute. There's always a few little things glitches and things we forget. So thank you, everyone, for all your support. Opportunities for us to gather like this are rare. And so I want to thank you all for making the time, making the effort to come out and to come here prepared to engage in important questions and topics that have a powerful impact on future outcomes for humanity. I also want to thank you for your support of the MTA, which is dedicated to exploring these issues. We live in an age of peak cringe, not because we're too earnest, but because we're ashamed of earnestness itself. We've become allergic to sincerity, embarrassed by enthusiasm, skeptical of anyone who dares to care too much about anything. Our young people are drowning in a sea of cynicism. Every day brings new reminders of how bleak the outlook is, how doomed the planet is, how corrupt our institutions are. The message is relentless. Why try? Why care? Why believe? But something is stirring. A new generation is discovering what their great-great-grandparents knew. You can just do things. You can build. You can create. You can push forward into the unknown. They're rediscovering what William James called the strenuous mood, that deep human need to struggle for something greater than comfort and safety. George Orwell saw this clearly in 1940. Writing about the appeal of totalitarian movements, he observed that human beings don't only want comfort, safety, short working hours, hygiene, and in general, common sense. They also, at least intermittently, want struggle and self-sacrifice, not to mention drums, flags, and loyalty parades. Where progressive thought offered ease and security, Hitler offered struggle, danger, and death, and a whole nation flung itself at his feet. This is a dangerous truth. The human need for meaning, for struggle, for something worth sacrificing for, this can be channeled toward creation or destruction, toward building up or tearing down. The question isn't whether we'll embrace the strenuous mood, but what we'll do with it. As Jason Crawford writes, we have energy. It must be directed. We have indomitable will. It needs a goal. We have fighting spirit. It needs an object. We have aspiration to greatness. It needs a form. Conventional morality, prudence, temperance, charity, tolerance, these make us better people, and they are very important, but they don't feed the soul. They don't inspire or invigorate. We need more than comfort. We need purpose. We need frontiers. Joseph Smith understood this. He warned against vain and trifling spirits, against conversations too low, too mean, too vulgar, too condescending for the dignified characters of the called and chosen of God. The things of God, he taught, are of deep import. To lead a soul unto salvation, the mind must stretch as high as the utmost heavens and search into and contemplate the darkest abyss and the broad expanse of eternity. This is the strenuous mood in its highest form, not the drums and flags of earthly conquest, but the infinite reach toward divine possibility. As William James recognized, even without metaphysical grounds, humans would postulate a God simply as a pretext for living hard and getting out of the game of existence its keenest possibilities of zest. Our Mormon pioneer ancestors lived this truth. They were builders of the nation, blazing trails along their way. Their watch cry was service. Their guiding star was love. Their beacon was courage. They pushed on the wild frontier, forging onward, ever onward. They didn't just survive, they built Zion in the desert. They transformed struggle into glory. But where is our frontier? Where is our wilderness to make blossom as the rose? The Mormon Transhumanist Association exists to answer this question. We believe the frontier hasn't closed. It has expanded beyond Earth into the cosmos, beyond biology into transformation, beyond death into resurrection. We see in science and technology not threats to faith, but means ordained of God to enable exaltation, to realize prophetic visions of transfiguration, immortality, resurrection, renewal of this world, and the discovery and creation of worlds without end. We are disciples of the gospel of Jesus Christ, seeking to become compassionate creators as exemplified and invited by Jesus. We understand this gospel as compatible with many religions and philosophies, particularly those that provoke strenuous pursuit of compassionate and creative exaltation. But this is not naive optimism. We recognize the risks and responsibilities that come with advancing technology. We also recognize our duty to engage, to prepare, to persuade others to use these tools with wisdom and inspiration. The strenuous mood needs worthy objects. Young people today don't need more reminders of what's wrong with the world. They need visions of what could be right. They need frontiers to explore, challenges worthy of their courage, causes that demand their best selves. The Mormon Transhumanist Association invites you to join us in reviving the strenuous mood, not through earthly conquest or vain ambition, but through the work of exaltation itself. Specific projects we're working on include monthly discussions on important topics related to the moral implications of technology, annual conferences like this one that bring together experts from multiple disciplines to discuss important current issues. We're about to unveil an updated website uniting all past content in searchable archives, including all our videos with transcripts and a compendium of fascinating quotations and essays on important topics related to Mormon transhumanism. We've published important thought work in publications of interest to Latter-day Saints, and we're also contributing to other transhumanist-adjacent publications. A new podcast called Pioneers, interviewing innovators in various fields, including technologists, biologists, philosophers, and theologians, is about to be launched. In fact, I was really hoping they would be out. I would be able to say you can go download them right now, but we're just a few days away from there. But stay tuned. Project Lazarus, a collection of resources designed to help ordinary people leverage technologies for the preservation of themselves and their loved ones, including genome sequencing, cryonics, family history, and AI-powered oracles based on memories of their loved ones. None of this work would be possible without support from donors like you. We invite you to push on the wild frontier of human becoming, to join with us in building not just cities in the desert, but futures beyond imagination. The builders of tomorrow are blazing trails today. They're laying stepping stones not just for generations, but for eternities. They're discovering the struggle and sacrifice that they need not serve destruction, but they can serve creation, compassion, and the infinite project of becoming like God. The frontier is open. The work is before us. The strenuous mood is stirring. Will you answer the call? Thank you.